I do recall the plot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zombies to Zoinks, the show where we talk about everything from super sidekicks to sonic cannons. I'm Trask.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Stefan.
And it's time to talk nerdy. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Again, Daniel?
I'm doing fantastic. I want to say again to people listening, I just had my 25th birthday 5 days ago. Thank you. So I'm a quarter of a century. I spent most of it in quarantine, but I had an Animal Crossing birthday party, so that was pretty fun. So a bunch of people came over to my island.
We really had a great time. Like, it was just fun.
Stefan included.
It's hilarious, I think. Well, it's both hilarious, but also really heartwarming to be able to do something like that right now, to have a virtual space to kind of gather in. So.
Yes.
I am not on Animal Crossing, but I thoroughly enjoyed seeing all the pictures and the screenshots of the party on your Facebook page.
Yes, and to get this out of the way, we were saying before is Stefan is in a remote location doing all of our technical stuff, and then Trask and I are in a separate remote location, 4 feet apart, practicing social distancing. But we have plenty of hand sanitizer, so we're okay.
The table is covered in it.
I thought it was 6 feet. I thought 6 feet was the supposed.
That's why we have
recommendation.
That's why we have hand sanitizer.
Okay, good. Because I'm about to say that you
we
need
have
somebody
not
to cover that 2 feet.
We have not greeted each other.
Okay.
It kind of sucks. Like I hate like not being able to give my friend a high five and a handshake and a hug, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. And then Trask, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to today's topic. So
we started the first of the first little section, and I was like, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to jump in.
We got so hyped. So it's time to get rehyped. Today we are going to be discussing the Teen Titans, one of my favorite.
Which version of the Teen Titans, Trask?
Well, specifically today, we're going to be discussing the animated series that
Teen Titans Go.
No, we will not be discussing that one today. We're going to be discussing the animated series that aired on Cartoon Network from 2003 through 2006. So
too short.
Specifically, yes, definitely too short.
A killer ending season as well. Yeah. So great.
So wait,
I said sarcastically.
Yeah, because I was about to bring this up. And this might get discussed later in the... I just need to know off the bat if I missed anything or not. Y'all didn't see the Teen Titans Go movie, did you?
I did see the Teen Titans Go movie.
I did not.
I did too.
My movie, my superhero movie.
Now, yes. Now, I will say this. Like, it does such a good job of at least being self-aware of what it is. But
I did not, however, see the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go special they did.
Yeah, well, yes. Now, okay, that's all. Those are all things I want to bring up later. But like the end credit sequence, wasn't that teasing a final season?
The post credit. Yes.
No, it was no.
No, there was a post credit.
No, there was, but no, they already came out with it.
They did.
There's a. Yeah.
Oh, is that what Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go
It was. So that was not teasing a season. That was teasing a special, which already came out, which is Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, where the original Teen Titans fight the Teen Titans Go.
All right, I'm good. I'm very sad. I'm very sad.
We're not counting that in this chat. I'm sorry, Stefan. Here.
Okay.
But oh my gosh. Okay, all right, that makes sense. That's fine. I was just curious. Because
it is already out on DVD.
Clone Wars got a final season. I was hoping that I was just like, no, they just delayed it, or it's like it hasn't come out yet. But like, there's still another season that's or they're doing something or a spin-off.
It was like an hour-long special that they did, and it already happened. I did not watch it yet, but it already happened.
And that's something we can discuss. A little bit later. In the episode, let's
keep our structure.
Yes. All right. So what are our sections that we have?
All right. So if you've never listened to the show before, the way that this works is we tend to operate in 3 segments. Our first segment is called the sorting session, which is a cross-promotional comparison where we take 2 separate universes, if you will, and compare and analyze them. Second section is called Fact Check. It's our version of 2 truths and a lie, except we'll do 4 truths and a lie, just to make things a little more interesting. And then our final section, section we call Trailer Chat, which is where we kind of talk about upcoming things. We may delve a little more into Teen Titans Go and other versions and stuff like that. So let's get things started with sorting session.
Very exciting.
The way sorting session started was the 3 of us were comparing what Disney villains we thought would go into which Hogwarts house.
Well, we talk about kind of the history of it in the last episode. Go check that out if you want to find the history behind sorting session.
Yeah. So today we're going to be seeing which members of the Teen Titans we think would belong in which Hogwarts house.
Yes.
So let's get things started with Robin. He's the leader of the group, and Daniel, what are your thoughts?
So this is what I was going to start with, and it's Stefan. I seem to have intrigued Stefan. Is most people would think that Robin, being the leader of the group and also wearing red and stuff, is a Gryffindor, but I think Robin is in fact a Slytherin. Now, what I say always is most bad people are Slytherin, but not all Slytherins are bad people whatsoever. So the main traits for Slytherin: cunning and ambition. He is an extremely ambitious individual, wanting to have his team be the best that they can be, and cunning because he's the one who's always creating the strategies and where to go, what to do, who to go after. And I think the biggest, kind of look at this that we can get are from two different little mini arcs that Robin has throughout the series. One of them being my personal favorite, even from when I was a kid, which is Red X. So I think this episode is the staple to show that Robin, and he does grow, but it shows his true intentions as a Slytherin. He goes behind his entire team's back to create this fictional villain in order to get closer to what he wants, which I think is a defining moment as a Slytherin. Like, I'm not saying going behind its back, because he did it for the greater good. However, he's able to circumvent any teamwork or leadership in order to get what he wants. Granted, this was earlier on in the series, so he does grow, and the team does forgive him for kind of like lying, but he has several more instances of this where he's putting his own ambition and goals kind of before the leadership aspect. Another of them being, even though he was put into a corner, another one of my favorite arcs is when he becomes Slade's apprentice. So the rest of the Titans they have these little like micro things attached to their blood cells, which like tortures them unless Robin helps him. But throughout that whole arc, I think you can see sort of his his more Slytherin tendencies. I just had a knock at my door, so I'll be right back. So
don't they understand quarantine?
Yeah, right. Stefan, why don't you go ahead and weigh in on this?
Just let me know if you guys are okay. Like, if there's someone coming to steal your toilet paper, I understand. If you do what you need to do.
Oh, they just got a delivery.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's nice. Well, we'll be sure to talk about that as I get, or not if it's private. It's his mail. Anyways, so Daniel always brings up really interesting points, and
cat a box. I'm back.
Welcome back. I was just talking nice things about you, man. You bring up good points, but here's, I can't argue with it, because here's the thing. It made me think of, it just makes me think of Robin's character in general, his whole character arc, and almost every iteration of Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing at some point.
Now,
right?
I do not think that every iteration of Robin is a Slytherin.
No,
I think
but every time we see Dick Grayson,
Teen Titans Dick Grayson, is a Slytherin, and we do know that he is Dick Grayson from the episode where the like little annoying Robin comes. From like another Larry from another dimension.
Yes.
There's something he pulls. He's like. He does something, and he says Dick Grayson.
He says his name, and it's Dick Grayson backwards, and then it spins behind him, and as it grows across the screen, it says Dick Grayson.
Okay, gotcha.
There's also an episode where Robin jumps to the future, and he sees himself as, or someone jumps to the future.
Time warp.
Yeah, and he sees himself as Nightwing.
Time. Starfire is the only one who stays in the present time.
That's right.
Yeah, great episode.
Yes, fantastic.
So that being said. I have a pretty strong feeling that the consensus is Slytherin.
Yes.
So absolutely.
I'm just going to say, ambitious, shrewd, cunning, strong leaders, and achievement-oriented.
Yeah, I'd say
they have high developed senses of self-preservation. Yeah.
I think he's
they weigh all
fighting
possible outcomes before deciding exactly what should be done.
Oh yeah, I think he's fighting his own Slytherin tendencies to be more of a team player than before, because that's kind of like, if there's the aspect of him that is in contrast to Batman, it's in the sense that he leads a team, whereas Batman took forever to get to that point.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Robin's
absolutely.
right off the bat already trying to be something bigger than Batman from the get-go.
Yes.
I feel like.
Yes, absolutely. Great. So, dude, it was Trask. Was that your?
Oh, absolutely.
He's Slytherin. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Without a doubt.
It's those green pants.
He's ambitious. He's self-reliant. He's adaptable. Like all of those characteristics that you were saying. Without a doubt, Robin. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So
next.
Next we'll go with Starfire. Stefan, why don't you start this?
Oh, Starfire. I think she's gonna be a Hufflepuff.
Oh, absolutely. I was about to say, this is the easiest. The
yeah,
two easiest
she's
are Starfire and
Robin.
Raven.
Yeah,
or Starfire and Raven, I was going to say, are the
Raven's
two easiest.
yeah, well, I got opinions on Raven, potentially.
We'll
I think I do. We'll get to her.
Okay.
But yeah. Starfire screams Hufflepuff to me, not just because of her caring nature, her honesty, her loyalty, her honesty to a fault, truly, because I think that, her whole, like...
She's a little naive.
She's naive, and she just like expresses everything genuinely.
Dedication,
as she feels
patience, loyalty, and fair play.
Yeah. Right. She's there for the team.
Starfire.
Yeah, she's there for the team always, no matter what, even against her own family. If she needs to deal with like things in her homeworld, like she chooses her friends, and that's like the big. And like I just think of oh my gosh, what's the little grub's name?
Silky.
Silky. I mean, like, I don't know. Those just feel like very Hufflepuff, caring, nurturing kind of tendencies to me.
I think a great episode that kind of exemplifies this would be in the wedding episode.
Yeah.
When she
betrothed.
Yes.
I told you I can do that.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So when
name the episode titles. Talk about it, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The title. I'll tell you.
When Darkfire, who is absolutely a Slytherin, or Blackfire. Sorry, how do I say? Blackfire. When she like organizes the wedding to the giant slug thing with Starfire.
Girdle Sklatch.
Yeah,
don't get me started.
Yes. Well, no, because Starfire in that, like, I think because she's really faced into a corner as a character where she has to, what she wants to do is the betterment for her people over her own self, which is I think is a great Hufflepuff sort of stance. And we see that she's going to go through with it because she knows, but it's right. And she's loyal to her people.
Yeah.
And she's dependable. So yeah,
I think that was a pretty unanimous decision on that one as
All
well.
Right. Who's next?
Well, since we already kind of brought up the topic of Raven, let's go ahead and talk about that. Stefan, you said you had some thoughts. So.
I do have some thoughts, because some things about Raven always perplex me, as far as the way she presents outwardly versus the way she is internally, and like the more of her that gets comfortable with the group and gets expressed by the end of the series versus the start of things. So I'm trying to factor everything. I'm trying to factor her background, her history, her personality, all those traits. Like, she has no ambition to me. She has absolutely no sense of like climbing or rising to something higher. So I don't put her in Slytherin. I want to put her in Ravenclaw.
If anything, I don't think she's Slytherin. If anything, she's she wants to hold herself back, because if she really with her father. What's his name again with the giant antlers? Trigon. If she really wanted to be, reach her full potential, she would be so dangerous, which we get to see in that whole arc where he comes to what is it called? Jump City? That's the name of the town?
Jump City was the name of the town that they made for Teen Titans Go. There was never like an official name.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They made references to Steel City with Brother Blood, but they never actually gave the Titans home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. So are we saying what are we saying?
My vote. was Ravenclaw.
Raven, absolutely.
And
Well,
the
and
way-
it's not because her name is Raven, but
Yeah.
Raven, the
Uh,
Ravenclaw. No, but I think it fits because of her eccentric, creative, kind of like
knowledgeable.
knowledgeable
Yes.
personality.
She
She's
is.
textbook
Tends to
introvert
observe.
Ravenclaw, I think.
Yeah, tends to observe more than actually participate in things. She's very intellectual and she's very independent,
Yeah.
which to me are some of the more defining
I think
characteristics of a Ravenclaw.
I think it's like I think it's like textbook case Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
It falls into some of the stereotypes, but I think that she has
She's-
to be.
Yeah,
She's
I
super
think-
knowledgeable and applies that knowledge in a lot of situations as far as like you know, you think of Raven, you think of her alone in her room reading her tomes.
Charge complete.
Yeah.
Practicing her. Ah, gee. There goes my. Hey, if you heard that, those are my headphones, everybody.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
No,
I know you won't, but everyone who's
No.
listening to my audio feed will.
Okay, great,
gotcha.
Said charge complete.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Okay, who's
All
up
right,
next?
well, let's go on to Cyborg then. I think I'll take
Go
take
for
the
it.
lead on this
Do
one.
it,
If
do
that's okay. To me, he's the diehard Gryffindor.
Oh, absolutely.
of the group.
Mhm.
He has to be. He's very
Yeah.
practical. He's very idealistic, man. Homeboy loves his T
Booyah!
car. He's
Well, I think again, I'm thinking about it. Each character really has they have their own arc,
Yeah.
which absolutely showcases who they are as characters and people.
Yeah.
and the
Just
whole
good
brother,
writing.
the brother blood arc.
he's so experience oriented.
Courageous. He literally
he's-
goes into the fray, into the enemy territory in disguise in order.
Multiple times.
Yeah. His whole thing as Stone, and even when he's tempted to be like, when Brother Blood's like, oh hey, I can make you
Human.
be human again,
Yeah.
or and he's what doesn't he say something like I am human?
I can so the big part is where he's like, oh, I can make you what you once were, and he's like, it's not the human half that defines who I am.
Yeah.
Or no, that's what it was, is it's not the machine half, because Brother Blood wanted to make himself part machine like Cyborg,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, it's not the machine part that defines who I am, it's the man in me that defines who I am.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
he's without a doubt a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Totally.
I'd say, and if I think things really fell to crap, I would probably put Cyborg in second to line to lead the team if anything ever happened to
that
Robin.
happens. Yeah, well, he's in charge of the
Titans East.
Titans East. Yeah,
See,
becomes
and
their-
there's where my knowledge falters a bit. This is why I got you guys to help.
yeah, with
help fill in the
Aqualad,
gaps.
Mouse Manos, and
Bumblebee, and
Bumblebee.
Speedy.
and Speedy. Yeah.
Yes. So when he went over to set up their tower, they asked him to stay and be the leader, and that was when Robin was like, "Hey, we need you home," and Cyborg's like, "Well, I already am home. You know, they've asked me to stay on as the leader," and he kind of takes that charge. He takes that initiative, and
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we move on to Beast Boy? To me, Beast Boy was
yeah.
the more difficult.
I
I
was-
felt like those first four were so much easier
They are.
to determine than Beast Boy. Beast Boy was kind of a toss up between two for me. So I'll Daniel, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So the first thing I'm trying to think of is where do we get the most information from Beast Boy? And that comes from the Doom Patrol
Yeah.
arc, where he's looked on as being the comic relief side, like, little kid tagging along. And that's kind of like, well, I mean, like, he starts off as just like comic relief in the earlier ones where it's like, nah, pizza, video games,
Sure.
So but I don't think he's a Hufflepuff. I'm trying to find out what he's not. He's definitely not a Slytherin.
Okay.
No, I
think-
wouldn't
can
put
we-
him as that. I was trying to actually
Yeah.
though. I wanted to find a way to justify that, but I
I
just
think he's a
can't.
Gryffindor. I think he's a Gryffindor as well.
I want to agree because that was my first thought too, but I also here's why I think Hufflepuff though, and I think I'm basing it solely on his friendship to Cyborg
Yeah.
and his dedication to the team through that avenue. I don't know if let's, because I try to think about that, like that to me is such a defining characteristic of Beast Boy. If you were to eliminate that aspect of him, like if Cyborg never existed, who would Beast Boy be to the team, and would he lose a bit of a connection there, like a bit of a sounding board or a home, Because to me, a Gryffindor feels like they can always exist independently, and I think Beast Boy to me struggles to do that a bit.
I don't think so. I disagree with struggling independently.
Okay.
I think he's able to hold his own, or at least he grows and learns to, and that's
Sure.
kind of the point of that one arc. Because what determines each house is what is inside each person. And it's it's what they do with the opportunities that are given to them, and I think that he is able to stand on his own, and even against the people who are kind of belittling him. Again, I'm thinking of the Doom Patrol arc.
Yeah.
I think I see him almost as like almost like a Neville Longbottom into Weasley twins territory. Where
that's a good point. Yeah.
Neville isn't able to see his true potential until his first defining moment was when he stood up to Ron, Harry, and Hermione and Sorcerer's Stone, where he's like, "I'll fight you," and then he Petrificus Totalis. So yeah, his So I still see him as a Gryffindor, where he is able to lead when he needs to.
Sure.
Because also
I want to say, real quick, all you Hufflepuffs out there, I'm not saying, I should clarify and apologize. I don't mean that a Hufflepuff cannot stand on their own and or lead, because I think of Newt Scamander and such. I think I'm basing it mostly off his loyalty and friendship attributes, but I'm really getting your Gryffindor points.
Right? Yeah. Trask, what are your thoughts?
So for me, the toss-up was between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. I completely agree that he has very, very strong tendencies to both of them. Looking back at some of the characteristics of the Hufflepuff, being honest and genuine, like nobody was more genuine than Beast Boy.
That's true.
When he opened up to Tara and invited her in,
oh yeah,
and he just it screamed Hufflepuff to me. But then when you get into season 5 and the arc with the Doom Patrol and and the brain and stuff like that, I was rewatching some of the episodes this morning because that's one of my favorite story arcs. The final episode of not the series but the story arc opens with the brain doing this big monologue about the Titans falling and everywhere you look we'll be there, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then right before the credits roll is Beast Boy on a beach with his ship wrecked and all these like robots destroyed, and he goes, "Try and catch me now," and he blows up the ship. Like he absolutely took control when it came to that. Was his storyline, and nobody led the group more. He knew when he and oh boy, why am I leader of the Doom Patrol?
Oh yeah, he's like a jerk.
Yeah, his father figure, for lack of a better word, the leader of that. Why can I not?
I'll pull it up here. You keep talking. I'll
I was giving myself all these props for being able to do this. When they went out on their
too much knowledge.
Yeah, too much knowledge. I can tell you episode titles and season numbers and all
the only one I remember is Negative Man because I thought he was cool.
It was Negative Man, Elastigirl, Robot Man, and it's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, the two of them went out on a mission.
Oh, here we go. Mento.
There we go.
Mento, Elastigirl, Negative Man, Robot Man, and Beast Boy.
So when he and Mento went out, he's like, "We're not coming back, are we?" There was one part when like people were being sacrificed left and right, and Beast Boy was the one that was like, "Okay, I'm doing this. I got to do this." He absolutely had those Gryffindor tendencies. So that's kind of where the toss up was for me. I still don't know if I can really decide which one I think.
I think and there's nothing wrong with like Hufflepuff, obviously, and like because all of these house things, it's not a box. They all overlap to some degree.
Yeah.
But I think that I think when he is challenged as a character, he is showcased with Gryffindor tendencies more than Hufflepuff.
I would agree with
the
that.
end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll settle with that. I think because if that's going based off your statement of what's inside, that is what's inside, and that's just what gets to come out and play by the end of everything. It's always been there. It just needed some room to wiggle out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I feel that.
All right. Well, with a few minutes left of this segment, let's talk maybe in a little less detail about some of the villains and other miscellaneous. Slade. Where do we stand on Slade?
Oh, and it's not because he's a bad guy. He's a Slytherin.
Hufflepuff.
Okay.
Slade?
Slade is a Hufflepuff.
I want him
No.
to be. Can I just want him to be?
Okay, so what we have to do then
Yeah.
is we're not looking at Slade. We're looking at we're looking at Slade Wilson, the Deathstroke. Like that is who he is.
Okay.
Even though he's not said by name. Who is pretty much a mercenary, and though it's not he is not Deathstroke in the series, but he is like it's the fact that the character's name is Slade Wilson.
It's implied.
Well, no, like yes, yeah,
Yeah. That is Deathstroke.
or I'm saying like Deathstroke's name is Slade Wilson. They have the same costume, and his name is Slade. I think they didn't call him Deathstroke because it was too like it sounded too bad for like kids show.
Oh yeah,
I
that
think-
makes sense.
I think that's the reason. But everything he does is solely for his own gain, which is like Slytherin.
There was a huge story arc in season 1 where Slade was recruiting Robin as his apprentice.
Yeah.
And one of the key things that they kept bringing up was Robin was so much like Slade.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons that I'm going to say that he's a Slytherin,
Slytherin,
as well,
Yeah.
is there are those same comparisons of ambitious and self-reliant and
know.
assertive. And
Yeah.
But I'm
Again,
never gonna
most-
not look for a villain that's a Hufflepuff. I'm gonna try it. With
Captain
every
Hook.
Fiber... All right. I gotta read into that. Okay, we're gonna do
Yeah.
that. We're gonna do that later when we get to those Disney
Um,
ones.
okay. How about Brother Blood? Stefan?
Yeah, sorry.
you go first.
He's the one that I remember the story arc, but I remember him probably the least as far as like the intricacies of his character. He's
Okay.
just like a wash of
Ravenclaw.
emotion.
I'm sorry. I have to say it. He is Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense
Studious.
in my head.
Studious, knowledgeable,
Let
resourceful.
me look him up real quick, a picture of him, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to refresh my memory.
He has like white hair, and he reminds me of the actor who plays the evil
Yes.
butler in the Haunted Mansion movie. I always forget his name.
Okay.
God, what is it?
Yes,
Hold
yes,
on.
yes.
I'm
I
not
remember
sure.
him
So,
now.
Stefan,
Okay.
you remember him now? Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree
so
with
you're
Ravenclaw.
gonna go Ravenclaw?
Yeah, I think Ravenclaw makes the most sense to me, especially
Cool.
considering his ties to
Yeah.
to Cyborg, but his like the scientist persona is also another thing that just kind of like gets me here.
Okay. Well, let's do one more. So this, I think, is one of the more underrated character arcs of the series. I want to get your guys' thoughts on Jinx.
Ooh, Jinx. Hufflepuff is my first, but she's more cunning. I think I don't want to say she's a Slytherin. Sorry, I'm trying to find Terrence Stamp. That is who the real life Brother Blood is.
Oh, gee.
Right?
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
'Cause he
So
worked at
the
the
actor
post
Terrence,
office.
if they ever did that,
Boo.
worked in a post, get out of here. Get out of here. Jinx, that's a good one. I'm trying to think. So the most we get to see of her is the bit with Speedy. I think that's where we get to see her as a
Kid
character.
Flash.
That's Kid Flash. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Bam.
Speedy is Green Arrow's sidekick.
Yes.
Kid Flash is Flash's sidekick.
Yes.
I know who they are. I'm sorry. Kid Flash.
So yeah, she has a lot of story arc in that episode.
Yeah, she just starts as a counter to Raven pretty much. In the whole little bit with Gizmo, like, cause you had like Gizmo,
Mammoth, and
Mammoth,
Jinx
yeah.
were
Yes.
the original Hive
High
Academy
Five, yeah.
students.
I want to say, no, she's not a Hufflepuff. I want to say Ravenclaw or Slytherin. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. Stefan?
I would have to agree. I might lean more towards Slytherin on that, though. With
Gotcha.
her,
But
Yeah.
she is a team player.
she is. She does function a lot as a team player, but I don't know why I have more memories of her though than the other Hive Academy students.
She's given more screen time at the end of the series.
Yeah. And in
Okay.
fact, the very end, when they have their big battles against the Brain and his army, Kid Flash runs in and he goes, "Hey, sorry I'm late. I was picking up a friend," and Jinx is with him. And there's actually a moment where Gizmo says like, "What, you were with this guy and whatnot," and she's like, "Yeah." She had a change of heart.
Oh yeah,
because
he cute.
Madame Rouge was kind of a jerk to her.
Yeah, yes.
Jinx was trying so hard to impress Madame Rouge and the brain and all them, and Kid Flash kind of turns her around, and she has like a really good change of heart, and I really like what they did with her character.
That's yeah.
Also, the adaptation from the comics was a complete 180 because
I don't know her comics.
She was African American. She was bald, and she wore like a white kind of loinclothy
interesting
attire. And for the series, they made her a lot darker and pale skin and gave her pink hair. And it was just interesting to see adaptations from all that stuff.
I have a question for you guys and any listeners now that we're wrapping up this section. Yeah. Did you guys ever play the Teen Titans game on
Flash
Cartoon?
Games on Cartoon Network?
I was going to say the fighting Super Smash Brothers one. I played the crap out of that.
I played the ones that like each of the characters had their own little games. Like Robin's was chasing Red X through traffic, and loved those.
Well, no, I was going to say the fighting one specifically. I played way too much. Did you play that one? It was a different game. It was a different game.
It was like a Mortal Kombat style.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where was the? You guys remember the? Oh gosh, the little web episode.
Oh yeah, the one that was before. Wait, was it the one?
Trouble in Tokyo, I think.
Oh no, that's a movie.
Was it a movie?
Trouble in Tokyo was a movie.
Yes, where we're gonna see Robin without a costume, like he has like a white jacket.
We can. How about we get to that a little bit later?
Okay, I feel
because this has been a very good discussion about all of our sorting stuff, and we'll move on to that later.
All right. So now we got fact check.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to fact check. Now the way this works, it's our version of Two Truths and a Lie, and we've kind of added the stipulation that whoever wins fact check, if there is a winner, will get to host the next week's episode. So let's move on to fact check and start with fact number 1.
Okay.
So the lost episode, the one that we were kind of just discussing a little bit there, was originally created.
Wait, which episode was that?
So this is the lost episode. It features a character named Punk Rocket.
Yes.
He's the one with the white spiky hair. He was an inmate. Played the electric guitar, could like surf on it and stuff like that. Yeah. This was originally made back in 2005 as part of Post cereals. They used this as a marketing campaign to advertise.
I think I already know this one already. I think I got the answer for this one because I was just thinking of this. I was actually just about to ask about this, so I'm glad that you shifted topics.
What is your justification for, Stefan? Like, what is your
justification is yes, because I remember it was either the Post cereal thing. I want to take it and like run with that because there was something in my brain that it wasn't just like a lost episode. Like there were things that you had to do in order to be able to see it. Because I remember when I was a kid with my brother, we had to put in a code or something somewhere, and you could watch it online, like on the internet somewhere on the web. I remember that being such a weird thing because it was an episode that wasn't going to air on TV. And we're like, we want to watch it so bad. And so it was either, I thought it was related to a game that you had to play or a video game online, like a web browser game. But if it's the Post thing, that makes sense too, because I was a cereal fiend as a kid. And
wait, sorry, are you talking about like cereal as in a series or cereal as in like eating
breakfast
cereal?
foods?
Oh, okay,
yeah, like breakfast food. Like,
well,
it was like
you can eat cereal any time of the day, for the record.
Yeah, this is true.
Absolutely.
But I just remember there being like Teen Titans characters on a cereal box, and then you would get the code and you entered it in on a website somewhere, and that would give you access.
I have no knowledge or anything of this, actually. I really don't. I know the episode and I remember it, but I remember watching it on TV. But if Stefan is saying that he remembers doing that,
it might have popped out on TV afterwards when they put it into syndication.
Yeah,
but I think its first release was on the web through this weird advertising campaign.
I'll say it sounds, they did a lot of stuff like that back in the day. I'm going to I'll say true right now, but I want to see what the other options are first.
Okay. The rumored 6th season that never actually got greenlit or anything like that would have primarily focused on Starfire. Throughout the course of the series, the 5 seasons, the story arcs were Robin, Terra, Cyborg, Raven, and Beast Boy. Starfire never got a story arc. So, had the 6th season been greenlit, the stories were written for a Starfire story arc.
I'm gonna say right now, I think that's the lie.
Interesting. Why?
Uh,
I don't see why not. I find
I'm not
it
gonna look
weird.
at Trask because when we did this last time, we were all in remote locations.
You're right.
I don't. So
Trash got a
from
big
my
poker face right now, man.
yeah, no, he looks normal.
Good.
Now he's doing crazy eyes. So from my understanding with the 6th season, is that the show was canceled, it was canceled. Like they knew that episode was going to be the last one. But from what they had already done, I could be totally wrong. But there was no information about the 6th season. Like they didn't have anything when they were ending it. So I don't think that is the truth. I'm not going to look at you, Trask, personally. But it does make sense. But I think that we got more of like a mini arc towards the beginning, like anything doing with Blackfire or any of that stuff, as well as Trouble in Tokyo. We get to see sort of an arc for her, as well as the episode where we get to see Robin meet Starfire and the gang and everyone.
Right.
So yes, so I'm going to say that I think that is the lie.
Yeah, because I remember so much stuff about Starfire's arc. Like or like I just remember episodes. I don't know if I'm just mixing things up, but like to me there are so many episodes dedicated specifically to her people, her past.
Yes.
So I think of that. I'm like, I don't know if they would have.
Tamaranian?
Yeah,
she's
Tamarand. I don't know if I don't know, but I'm also like, if that is the case, that's kind of sad to me that they decided to. I mean, I love the Terra episodes, but to spend a whole season on Terra and then forget to do your main characters first.
Well, I don't think that they forgot it. I just, for me, is I don't believe any information about a 6th season has ever been released. So that's what.
Okay. So this sparked a lot more of the discussion and thoughts into it than I was kind of expecting it to.
Okay.
And you guys have both given some like serious, valid points that based on all my research, I would like to go ahead and omit this question.
Oh.
Well, here's my thought: is
There's debate, isn't there?
there's a lot of information that I saw that had talked about the 6th season.
Okay.
But if you guys are saying that there's no information out there, then I don't know if I can actually justify this one as being a truth. So I would like to go ahead and omit this. So we're going to do 3 truths and a lie because
Okay.
I had that one as more of a concrete thing, and you guys have presented a lot of evidence that states that it might not be concrete information one way or the other. So I don't feel it's fair of me to say
That's fine.
Hey,
Conjecture.
yeah. You know what? I want to be honest with you guys about it and not leave something that's as subjective as it is.
You could call this segment Trask's Truths and a Lie.
Yeah,
that would be okay.
Here, let's leave it. Let's leave it in. Just right. Like, let's go on to the next.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we'll
on
go
to
to
the
the
next
next
question.
Yeah.
Aside from the 5 primary voice actors, Ron Perlman made the most appearances in the show. Now, Ron Perlman was the voice of Slade.
Right.
So aside from the primary voice actors who appeared in all 65, if you include the Lost episode and Trouble in Tokyo.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ron Perlman.
So I don't know.
sense.
I don't know who else he voiced in the show, and you don't have to tell me because because then I'd be like, all right, so tell me who did he voice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here's what else is
but
weird
they
about
do that
this.
all the time in animated shows.
They do, but Ron Perlman specifically, like, I don't know him as a voice actor. I know him as an actor on film, and so knowing he does the voice of Slade, to me is just they got Ron Perlman because Ron Perlman, like that voice. They wanted that kind of tone. So I don't know if Ron Perlman. I'm not sure if he possesses the ability to shift that much. Like if I think about him, like if he did, to me he'd feel like John DiMaggio. John DiMaggio can do crazy things with his voice that don't quite make sense to me because John DiMaggio. When you hear him, you know his voice. It's very distinct. But sometimes like it took me forever to realize he was the Scotsman in Samurai Jack, right?
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, if Ron
I believe
Perlman,
he's the voice of Brother Blood, by the way.
Yeah.
John
Okay.
Marshall.
yes, yes,
Yeah, well, you know,
So
they
if
they,
Ron Perlman can do that, then
yeah, that one's interesting because I would say because they have people like even the main characters voice other people all the time, but the thing is, did he voice the most out of any other character?
correct.
And I think it's interesting because you know, if they have him in the studio and it's like, oh hey, we need guy yelling one, or you know, something, anything like that, or bad guy that we can throw a filter on to sound deeper like an alien, like I don't know, and
Well,
I'm
well,
not
okay.
I'm not gonna look this up. So
No, I'm going to
so I'm
put 2
curious what
points here. I'm going to throw 2
Yeah.
points to counter that. Yes, but also anything additional to what he's been contracted to do, I would think, as far as Ron Perlman's concerned, because he's a bigger presence in the film industry, unlike some of the actors that would like Tara Strong and people like that.
Yes.
I think he's good. His work or his contract for the show probably looked different, and I don't
That is
know if they would
true.
have pulled him for some sub things without contracting more pay. So my theory is he's in a lot of episodes as Slade, but only Slade, and that there's someone else on the show that's doing
has done
more work, maybe.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Because the only people I think of are like right off the bat, I'm like, oh, well, Tara Strong can do like 1,001 voices.
Everything, yeah.
And so I'm sure she's playing like, oh, the reporter and woman at bank and like all those things like that. But based on your
But keep in
wording,
mind-
Trask,
Keep
You're
in
s-
mind, Tara Strong is one of the 5 primary voice
correct.
actors.
That was what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Given your wording, all of those 5 voice actors, who I'm sure double for a lot of things, don't count in this lineup. So I'm probably going to say it's true. I think the main, like one of the biggest villains would probably, because he's pretty reoccurring. I can't
Yeah.
think of another character that pops in more than the Teen Titans than Slade.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
And I think that they would get the main cast. I think they would get most of them to just fill in the
Fill in,
random
yeah.
ass stuff.
Can you say the wording one more time, just so I think about it?
Aside from the primary 5 voice actors,
Yeah.
Ron Perlman has appeared in, or has the most appearances.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I would think he
I
would
guess
too,
I guess I
contractually.
misunderstood it originally, so I'm going to say that's true. I think that's
Yeah.
that's true.
That's where I'm going to settle with it as well.
Okay.
For right now.
On to number 4. The opening credits of the show aired with 2 versions, one in English and one in a Japanese language.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Now,
that's
the
true. Yeah.
translation of the Japanese language was incredibly loose. It was not translated very well at all. Beast Boy actually sings the retranslated back to English language. He sings these lyrics in the karaoke scene for Trouble in Tokyo. Now, these lyrics feature things such as "I will obey the traffic rules" and "I will eat everything without likes or dislikes." That's how loose the translation was.
Okay, wait. I need maybe a little clarification. If you can't give it, I understand. But
Okay.
the question, we're not confused on the English or the Japanese. We know there's 2 versions. The
Right.
English lyrics, though, in my head, don't sound like that. Now you're saying that those things that he sings in the karaoke version, provided that if they're true, that's what's playing at the beginning of every episode in the English aired version.
In the Japanese version.
Oh,
So-
okay. But our but like our English version.
Our English version starts with the line, "When there's trouble, you know who to call."
Teen Titans.
And in the Japanese version,
Yes.
in the Japanese version, what they're actually saying is, "I will obey the traffic rules."
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. So that's either.
I think it's so crazy that it could be true.
Well, because
Because I'm trying to think of translations because context is different. So like again, this is the
Exactly.
direct English translation, which is with Japanese. From my understanding, I don't speak I don't speak either. I'm speaking English right now. But from my understanding, the like switch over. A lot of it has to do with cultural context as well as rather than direct wording.
and more so like symbols and things like that. So like they mean
Yeah.
there's more poetry to it that like if you just plug that into Google Translate, yes, you would get "I obey all the traffic rules." And
Yeah,
and it
but you're
would-
saying
just
that
wouldn't
he
make
sings
sense.
this in Trouble in Tokyo.
I'm saying that So he does sing karaoke
Yes.
in
Yes.
Trouble in Tokyo.
It's just, are those
what
lyrics?
he is singing
Yes.
is how it's actually translated.
I think that's true. I think they could do that.
I would say probably. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's things about the
It's kinda
translation we would never understand, and so they
Yeah.
had to just redo the lyrics to fit Western audiences.
To be fair, like the and I'm only thinking of this because of Pokemon. In the original Pokemon translation, so there's in the opening anime, I want to be the very best.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you see like clips from the show, as long as like animation that was done just for the opening, and one of those is like Pikachu running around and through people's legs, and it's like Officer Jenny and I like Brock or someone, and then at the end it's this girl that never appears in the show at all in any of the episodes in Japanese or English. And so a lot of people are like, who is this girl? Like, why is she relevant? Why is she in the opening? And it turns out the Japanese translation is literally like, look how fun and cute Pikachu is running all around, even through even under this girl's skirt. Like, that is the lyric. And that is why that is there.
Yeah.
And so I think, and again, it's meant to be like a joke that makes sense in the language.
But it
again,
just comes across. It doesn't come across the same way at all when you directly translate that. It's like,
when you just it's like why that's so
why?
weird. Why would you do
What
that?
is this?
But it's
Yeah.
like it's more like in the cultural context, it's more of like a funny anime thing,
Right.
Like,
I think so I think that this is I've got to say this is probably going to be true because that just makes sense to me that would be the case. And I also think too that like the probably what it really is all referencing is as far as everything's, it's like I'm sure that they developed a song that was about the carefree nature of the team coupled with their loyalty, their justice, their like willingness to uphold the law. So I think there's like a couple of idioms and cultural things in the lyrics that just don't work in English.
Now, is the show originally Japanese?
No, it was inspired by the chibi animation styles for the cutaways,
like kind of like Avatar. Like Avatar is an American anime.
Yeah,
like,
Western cartoon inspired by.
I should say Western. Yeah.
That's
so
some
it
good
is a Western cartoons. So what came first? The English or the
English?
The English did come first, and so then So that's interesting because I could see then how. And that makes me think like, well, maybe I still think it's true. So what we have one more, right?
One more.
Okay.
Yes. Over the course of the entire series, every single episode, they never once say the word kill. Instead, they would say destroy or annihilate.
Yeah, I would absolutely believe. I'm pretty sure the Deathstroke thing is that's why they chose Slade over Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same exact thing. I will end you, I will destroy you. And that this was very, very common, especially for like Cartoon Network. I'm thinking of it's the whole thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Why they created the Shadow Realm.
Okay.
If you were right, like I will send you to the Shadow Realm. There is no in the anime and in the Japanese dub or the Japanese original, there is no Shadow Realm. That is entirely created for the Western dub.
Yes.
Anything like that was just done as censorship. So for example, there is like when someone says, "Oh, I will send you to the Shadow Realm," it literally means like I'm going to kill you. Like that is literally the translation. An example I was going to say was there's a bit in the second season of Yu-Gi-Oh! In Duelist City where Yugi and this other guy are chained up, and the guy has these dark energy blades that are spinning that if it touches you, you get sent to the Shadow Realm. In the original Japanese, those are saw blades that will cut off their legs.
Oh God.
So they change it to and there's a lot of things like that were done on Cartoon. Another one, there's a kid where it's like, oh no, they kidnapped my little brother, but like in actuality they like killed his little brother. So I think that is true.
Sense. I think the censorship here would probably make sense to me. I'm sure. Yeah, and that was at a very different time too, where there was a lot less. Like we find a little
2003.
There's a little more leniency now. Like I think of other shows in Cartoon Network like Steven Universe and stuff, which are a lot more heavier and they deal with death, and make mention of it. But back then, I think there was a higher rate of censorship amongst cartoons. So I could see them. I distinctly remember a lot of those things being funny to me as a kid. villains saying destroy and stuff. So that rings true. If this is true though, Daniel, we have an issue.
Yeah,
we have an issue. We have 4 truths right now, and one of these has to be a lie. One of these has to be false.
Okay, I think then what was the other one that I said?
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
go
go back and go over just the 4 because we're gonna.
Mate. So the Starfire one. Sorry, was that something?
I think that is all speculation. Everything that
Okay.
I had researched was saying that.
You also gave it away
That
now
was-
too.
Well,
Like we can't.
I was intending on that being a truth.
Yeah.
though.
right. That's what I mean.
That's why I feel a little more comfortable omitting it because I was heavily relying on that being such a truth.
Yeah.
That you guys
we've swayed
based on your discussions have made me realize that it is probably more speculation
then.
than there's not enough fact
That's
to
fine.
back
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
but
totally.
that
I
one could never be the
I
false
could
one
not
here.
wholeheartedly justify it as a truth.
There's
Okay.
another one here that you made that's false. That's what I'm looking for now. Because I'm like, if that one was
Yes.
intended to be true, then one
So,
of these other 4 is
let's-
false.
Let's go with the original or with those other 4.
Yes.
The Lost
Yeah.
episode originally aired as a promotion with post serials.
Mm.
Number 2, aside from the primary 5, Ron Perlman has made the most voice appearances in the entire series.
Okay.
The opening credit aired in both English and Japanese, and the Japanese was so loosely translated that it said things like, I will obey the traffic rules and I will eat everything without likes or dislikes. And over the course of the series, they never once said kill.
These are good. I'm going to say it's either
Gotta pick one.
I'm going to say that it's the Ron Perlman one. That's my final answer.
Okay,
That's mine
Stefan?
too, though. Because I'm so adamant on the post serial promotion. Because I have
so let's go through.
distinct
If anything, I will
memories.
say, and this doesn't mean anything, my second one would be the serial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
But I'm going to choose the Ron Perlman one.
Okay.
The second one.
All
Yeah,
right. So
me too.
post
False.
serials,
Yes.
that was true.
Yes.
That was true.
That
Okay.
was true.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It was a promotional piece with that. The episode was only 12 minutes long rather than being like the full 18 to 20. It was just a short little promotional thing. But yes, that was.
Okay, cool.
All right. Ron Perlman does not have the most voice appearances in the
Okay,
series.
so we both won.
You both
Okay.
picked the correct one.
Okay.
Ron Perlman was featured in 19 episodes who voiced Slade.
Okay.
Topping that was D. Bradley Baker doing voices for 21 episodes.
Oh,
Of
gotcha.
course. It's always
Okay.
D. Bradley Baker.
Yes.
Of course. That makes sense. See, I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense to me
okay.
with
All
the
right.
Ron Perlman thing. Okay.
And then so the other two were true.
So the other two were true.
okay, I thought
In
so.
Trouble in Tokyo, Beast Boy does a karaoke scene and he
I
jokingly
will
says-
obey all the traffic rules.
yes, there's things like Earth, Fire, Wind, Social Studies.
Yeah.
Like that's literally some of the things. I watched the clip when I was like looking this up, and he looks at the screen and it's in Japanese. He goes, it's not in English, and he like pushes the button and it translates, and he starts singing it
That's funny.
in karaoke, and it's like kind of making a joke about, hey, like we kind of messed this up.
Yeah.
let's have some fun with it.
Yeah,
he
and I bet
sings
they
the
do it in
entire
reverse
song.
in the Japanese one. I bet they have it, so it's like, oh no, it's not in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And yes, they never once said kill. in
Okay.
the series.
Awesome. yeah.
So we have a tie. This
I will
week.
say, since I've already hosted, that Stefan will host next week.
That's kind of what I was
Yeah.
leaning towards as well. So
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, we can make that an official rule. If there's a tie, then the
person
tiebreaker is
who
who
didn't-
hasn't
yeah.
hosted the most recent, like who hasn't hosted recently.
Yeah. So like
All
I did
right.
it last time. Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, I'll take it.
that was our
then.
version of fact check. Yeah,
Ooh,
it was fun. Thanks for
that was,
playing, guys.
those are really good. Those are fun.
I had a lot of fun with that. Also, I was kind of like trying to come up with some new stuff on the fly because one of the first ones that I had was talking about which version of Robin this was, and you guys were like, "Oh, it's Dick Grayson!" Like right out of the
Okay.
gate. I'm like, "Okay, I gotta scratch that one out."
Yeah.
And
They make a
and then I started thinking about like rechanging the name from Deathstroke to Slade, and you guys started talking about that. I was like, "Come on!"
Oh,
we know
So
our
I was
Teen
like
Titans.
pulling up trivia on IMDb. About
you're
it to
doing
see if I could
fantastic.
find anything.
maybe
Oh,
we
okay,
should.
okay.
Which is actually where the lost episode part came from, is
Oh, okay,
because I
neat,
was like,
neat.
oh, that was one of the. I mean, and I kind of knew that one. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to be as fun, but you guys got a lot more discussion out of that than I was expecting, so I enjoyed that
Awesome.
thoroughly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I couldn't remember that one. I remember it being called the Lost Episode, but I couldn't remember really too much about it.
Yeah. Well, we have a few minutes left, so let's go ahead and discuss trailer chat. Now, because this ended back in 2006, January of 2006, mind you, so we didn't even get like a good full year at it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking if we're going to something that might be on top, because a lot of stuff has been coming out recently, talking about the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I follow a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like usually with a movie that I really care about, I try not to see any behind the scenes things that might spoil it. Everything that's come out is not really a spoiler. Like it looks like it's like anything that once a trailer drops, this might come out. So if you guys want to discuss this, like some of the things that have been shown so far to the public, as well as things people have seen.
Could be. Do you have
as long as it's nothing to do with plot, really. It's only characters and only designs that have been seen so far.
What did you have anything Teen Titans specific, Trask? Or
my things were just going to be talking about like other variations of it, like to get your guys' opinion on. I know we've kind of jokingly talked about Teen Titans Go and other versions. If you guys have seen any of the standalone movies or Young Justice,
I think Young Justice is an interesting discussion point too. I think
which could be its own episode.
I know, absolutely. And I really would love to actually take a concept like Teen Titans Go, because I could talk endlessly about it. I would like to take a concept like that and shove it to a different episode one day, I think, where we should talk about spin-offs or reboots.
Yeah. Okay. I do really appreciate, though, I would like to throw this in of the Teen Titans Go, where they kind of made the flashback.
That is the only episode I've seen. Is that one?
The flashback with Control Freak, where they were like, man, we used to be cool, we used to stand for something, look at what my hair.
I've only seen that and the movie. I put the it was like on Hulu or something, and it was like one day I was cleaning and I put it on because it was like an hour and 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
No, I went to theaters to watch that thing, and I did it for the Stan Lee cameo. And I did it for the post-credit scene.
Oh, rest in peace, Stan
Yes,
Lee.
rest in peace, Stan Lee. I loved that where he pops in the golf cart and he's like, "I'm making cameos in every movie now." Like, it's so good. But literally,
I enjoyed the movie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, "Okay, this is actually pretty funny." The fact that it is making fun of superhero movies, primarily, and not just being kind of like dumb, which is kind of with the. And
I'll say this too, Trask. Like, it's worth a watch for the sake that like. It's almost like going to see it in theaters was just the whole time it asks you, why are you here right now? Almost making fun of you for watching it, but it's like, but we get it. We know what we are and we know who you are.
Self-aware.
The Batman saving Batman's parents and then having to go back and then reset that was just awful. Like there's just like they play with time in the movie, and they do some really funny things to big name superheroes that make you go, oh no. I'm like, they fix problems that they then have to reset because they ruin the world as a result of it.
Gotcha.
Don't they also make a reference to Deadpool, I think, as well, and how Deathstroke and Deadpool look the same? Because it's funny, Deadpool was created to be a parallel to Deathstroke.
Right.
Like that's why we have Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate about that film. I appreciate those episodes specifically about the series. It was one of those things that I tried to muscle through. I watched maybe 15 episodes before I just gave up, and then caught episodes like the Control Freak one, stuff like that. Well, like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So, but I would love to do a whole reboot chat one of these days, maybe. But
more topics for us.
Yeah, no kidding.
For a while.
But let me think of like, I don't know. So like going back to like what happened. Like when I woke up this morning, I thought it was hilariously serendipitous that like I pop open my phone, and on Facebook the first advertisement I get is for Teen Titans, but specifically this series that we're discussing, the original Teen Titans on the DC app, on the DC streaming service. It's just like I'm like, my phone's listening to me, or it's just coincidence. But
it is. No, there definitely is something. I'm not like oh, they're coming to get me. But like, yeah, no, they're definitely.
Like, do you want to watch this?
Well, no, like I know I've had sometimes where either I've bought something online or something, and then on a completely different platform, I get a a notification
Oh,
or
sure.
something that says like, yeah, you could use this, or sometimes it'll even be for the thing that I bought, or like something to go with the thing I bought.
I haven't been searching Teen Titans at all in the past week.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
We've been discussing it a little bit, I think, on our chats with each other.
So
my phone's just hearing me. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know. Let's go back to the. Do I go back to the Batman thing, because that's
So there's some cool things that I
let's do like a quick 1 minute discussion for each person kind of thing, and then I think maybe we should think about wrapping this up, because
true that we are at time.
We can talk for hours about this, and let's save some content for other ones. So,
okay,
1 minute each. Let's talk about something that we got going on. So Daniel, go for it. Talk about the movie. What are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
Okay. So I believe, just so you guys know too, so it's supposed to be taking place during Batman's second year, and it's supposed to feature a lot of his rogues gallery. I believe so far the pictures that have been shown are of kind of a simplified Bat costume. There was a test footage that was shown, and it looks like it looks very similar to Arkham Knight, actually.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
pieces of technology.
Yes. So so like the bat symbol isn't like a bat, but it's like looks like it's made from the armor pieces. And one thing I'm not sure I like, it has the short ears. It has like short pointed ear, like wispy points. I kind of like, I love the my personal favorite, I think, was the Batfleck costume. I thought that was the coolest. I thought it reflected the animated series the most. The fact that it was kind of like stitched together and gray and black, like I thought that, and with the shorter ears, I think it looked really cool. I was never a fan of the Joel Schumacher ones.
No, I think the Batfleck did look really cool too. The thing that I just dislike more than anything, and we've gotten it 2 times now, is extremely distorted voices. And I don't feel it's necessary. I mean, I get why Christian Bale did it, but then it just got parodied to all heck, and then Batfleck with his Batfleck with his like voice modulator trying to use technology to do it, but it just didn't feel like Batman to me. I feel like
I agree.
Aspects like Batman could do that in a scenario, but I really just believe like if Clark Kent can get away with being Superman, Batman can just get more serious and it's fine.
I think who's the animated series voice? I was gonna say Troy.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. He does the games. He does the animated series. Yeah.
Yeah. The way he's able to change between his Bruce Wayne and his Batman, where he just changes the timbre of his voice.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing a different voice. So whenever he's Bruce, he's like, oh yeah, totally. But when he's Batman, he's all the way down here.
Yeah. He brings it down here.
I was gonna say a fun piece of trivia. This was just released in Batman Begins. When Crane takes it's his own gas on him and he sees the demon bat face, that was a practical suit. That wasn't CGI. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was a practical some B-roll was released and it shows the guy walking in a suit. I don't think it's Ben Affleck, but it's a guy in the suit. And so the only things they really added was the black foam in his mouth and probably the eyes, but everything else was that was practical, which I thought was really cool. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
I love that.
Well, I think we've sparked a lot of discussion that we can definitely talk some Batman stuff in the future. But I think we should probably wrap up for this episode.
Sounds good.
For those of you listening, we appreciate your ears.
We love them.
Still haven't quite figured out a send off. But if you have any questions, if you want to submit topics for things, feel free to email us at zombiestozoinks@gmail.com.
I think we're going to be making some other social media stuff like Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah.
I think we just made so
now we're on Twitch. You can catch us on Sounder and
probably YouTube too.
There was something else that you said we were on.
We're on Spotify.
Oh yeah,
Spotify.
Cool.
I think iTunes is gone through now too.
Awesome. Well, check those out, and I guess we will see you next week.
Oh yes, I can't wait to play with you all next week.
Yes.
Oh my God, get out of here.
Stefan's leading the next episode. Thank you once again for listening. This has been Zombies to Zoinks. I'm Trask.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Stefan.
And I'm the Chris, I doing the job. It makes me feel like I'm ruling the world.